Welcome back to Muscle in the Morning. I'm Dave Palumbo, and today is Wednesday, January 22nd, 2020. Let's find out what's going on in the world of bodybuilding and fitness. Sometimes when you watch the NFL or NBA games on TV, and you see these athletes standing next to sideline reporters, it makes you realize that all of those dudes are completely different species of humans. And I'm guessing that Iain Valliere probably doesn't have the 40-time or vertical jumps of some of the guys who play on Sundays, but this dude is definitely a different breed of human. Over the weekend, Iain's camp released a new photo of their guy tipping the scales at a ridiculous 295 pounds, which is the biggest that I could ever remember seeing him. At this point, Iain's got all the size he needs to compete at the highest level. Now the real trick will be chiseling it all down to bring out the details so that he can start putting up the W's. Last weekend, Conor McGregor reminded the world why he's still the biggest star in MMA when he flatlined Cowboy Cerrone in less than a minute into the first round. Before that fight, Conor hadn't been in the octagon for almost a year and a half. He had all sorts of legal stuff going on, and there were all sorts of people who wrote him off as being done. And then all of a sudden, boom. Now he's a game changer again. And in a weird way, I think that Conor and Nathan the Asha stories have a lot of parallels. They're both super talented guys, both had major distractions outside of their sports, and now both of them are looking to take a seat at the head of the table once again. This is a big year for Nathan, and if what Conor just did is any sort of foreshadowing of what might be on the horizon, this could end up being the best season of his career before it's all said and done. Right now, the Lakers are the best team in the Western Conference. LeBron is playing out of his mind, and it looks like they'll have a chance to lock up one of the seeds in the playoffs if they keep up the pace after the All-Star break. But if they need an extra body to fill out the end of the bench, it might not be a bad idea to shoot over a text to Jamie Leroyce. It's been a while since we heard from the former Olympian, but over the last few weeks, he started to look sharper and sharper on his social media to the point where he's forcing people to pay attention. During his rookie season 2 years ago, Jamie was someone who you could count on to consistently bring it every time out. So if he's back in that mindset once again, he'll be an interesting piece of the puzzle to watch as this season starts to unroll. I've had conversations with people over the last month or so who seem to think that this will be a wild year in the 212 division. And now that Dwayne Quamina is officially back in the mix, those predictions might end up being a whole lot more accurate than I initially wanted to give them credit for. Last weekend, Dwayne announced that he was starting his prep for the 2020 season, although I don't think he's releasing where he's going to be making his debut quite yet. If there's one thing you can say about Dwayne, it's that he's always brings the thunder when it's showtime. So now that he's allegedly coming in with all sorts of new improvements, it'll be interesting to see how he can shake up the division. And that does it for yet another edition of Muscle in the Morning. I'm Dave Palumbo, reminding you to always be true to your passions, and make sure to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.